Boy oh boy, it's been a long time since I've been on the Division 2 or even made a video about it, but I'm back now because title update 22 seems like it's going to be pretty good. Not only are they adding new gear, weapons, exotics, new story content, but the way that they're going about this feels a little bit different because they scrapped that whole idea of the seasonal characters model, which so many people did not like, and rightly so. Forced a lot of people to make the decision to go play other games, including me. So it seems like they got their heads on pretty straight by implementing certain things that they have in Tu22. And with that, I just wanted to talk about something because there are a lot of nerfs. If you look at the patch notes, they're nerfing Striker's battle gear. Instead of ultimately gaining 1% weapon damage, you get 0.85, I think. They're nerfing St. Elmo's, taking away 10 rounds, which is actually one of the cornerstones of that weapon because you have to stack a certain amount of rounds in order to gain the bonuses, right? They're even nerfing the Ouroboros. Another thing they're nerfing is the Scorpio. So when you think of it, they're nerfing pretty much all of the metas. But can you really call these things the meta anymore? Since there are so many of them, they're just different playstyles. Anyways, I don't have a problem with this, okay? I think that it's a good thing because the gear and the weapons that they're nerfing are still going to be strong. Striker's battle gear is just a strong gear set in general. It's always been since the Division 1. And taking away that 1%, it doesn't really make a difference to me personally because I was always an advocate of running Striker's battle gear in an alternative way, which entailed me using the Ninja Bike backpack. And the only way that you can get that 1%, and correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't played the game in a while, but the only way you can get that 1% weapon damage was if you were using the backpack. I didn't use the backpack. I used a Ninja Bike bag, and I was still shredding NPCs and enemies in the incursion. And I think that's one of the things that they're trying to do is mitigate how easily you can complete the incursion with these crazy OP striker builds. I think so many people are paying so much attention to these nerfs that they forgot about this insane buff hidden within the rework of a certain pistol that was completely and utterly useless. And this is the Mosquito. Trust me, I tried to use this a couple times because it kind of went with the aesthetic of one of the shield builds that I was using with the deflector. I'm like, okay, I can be a tank that's dealing damage while deflecting their bullets back at them using the Mosquito. It was a pretty cool concept, but they were just doing too much with that talent. Because previously, hitting an enemy applies a stack. Stacks are shared between players. At 10 stacks, the enemy will forcefully target the last player to apply a stack for 5 seconds. Stacks deplete every 5 seconds, and activating the effect on the enemy will remove all stacks from the enemies. I'm thinking in my head like, what is this about? Why do you why is this talent here? What is it doing? And then it gets even worse when you use it in practice. Doesn't work at all. Utterly useless. But this rework actually makes it pretty goated, right? So here's what they're doing. The talent is called Mosquito Song. Hitting an enemy applies a stack. Stacks are shared between players. At 5 stacks instead of 10, the enemy will forcefully target the last player to apply a stack for 5 seconds. And here's what they changed. That enemy will take 40% more damage to armor from all sources. Stacks deplete every 5 seconds. Activating the effect on an enemy will remove all stacks from other enemies. Okay, I foresee a couple of builds already from looking at this. Damage to armor is a devastating amplified damage bonus that you can gain, and it works against those Chunga's armor plates, it works against players' armor bars, it works against NPCs' armor bars. So damage to armor is great, and having 40% of this, oh my god, I can only imagine the builds that I'm going to come up with this. And in all of these nerfs, there was one more that was added, the Sledgehammer. It was a rework, right? Previously, dealing damage with a grenade applies a mark on a target. Targets with marks will take 30% more damage to armor and have a negative 20% movement speed. The marks disappear after 10 seconds. This was certifiably necessary in the incursion, right? To take out Right and also the Lovebirds. You'd have Sledgehammer equipped and you throw that grenade, and it's just something that you had to do. Turns out they nerfed this too, because dealing damage now with a grenade applies a mark on a target. The targets with marks will take 30% more damage to armor from the agent that applied the mark and have a negative 20% movement speed. The mark disappears after 10 seconds. So what they added was that it's not damage from all sources. It's just from the player who threw the grenade and activated Sledgehammer. Now I don't really understand why they did this because they just essentially put from all sources on the Mosquito Song exotic talent. So I guess now people are going to just be using the Mosquito in the incursion instead of Sledgehammer. I don't know, maybe this is just going to make people or force people to work harder for that damage to armor that Sledgehammer gives you. But not only have they nerfed a plethora of exotic weapons, they also nerfed quite a few attributes on brand sets, 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐼 crit hit chance, and a few others. So I don't really want to get all into it right now. I've downloaded the PTS, preloaded already on my PC. I can't wait to dive in tomorrow to see what everything is about, because honestly, that's when I'll really be able to test things out and see how much of an impact they really have. And I'm not even going to get into the gear sets and the new brands that they have. They actually look really awesome. I'm looking at one of these where it has perfectly versatile, right? And man, oh, I love versatile. I have builds on my channel, maybe 3 or 4 of them with versatile, and they are very effective. So you know, when it comes to the Division builds, I really love the aspect of the ever-evolving concept of builds. When they add new gear and weapons, you just slot them in, builds that you already have, to create something new. That's the beauty of it. And I don't want to reveal what I'm going to do right now, but I just can't wait to get into the lab to see how it's actually going to work outside of my theory-crafted brain. Anyways, I just wanted to let people know, if they didn't, about this small rework that's actually going to be huge. For the Mosquito, I like pistols. They're a big thing to me. The Liberty is awesome. I love the Regulus. So hopefully the Mosquito gets on the echelon of those other exotic pistols. It remains to be seen. So stay tuned for more Division 2 videos going forward, because it's about that time to get back into the swing of this game. I got that itch, y'all, and it's here. And one more thing about the nerfs. I don't really have a problem with this. I just think that it's okay to kind of balance everything out, put it on the same level, because ultimately I believe that your skill is what's supposed to shine through when it comes down to those clutch moments. The gear is just there to support you, right? So it's not supposed to be a weapon that's so overpowered that you don't really need that much skill in order to dominate. So overall, to me, this is a good thing, and it doesn't really bother me. Let me know what you think about it down in the comment section below, and I appreciate you watching to the end. If you like this conversation, like the video, and don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next one. Be right out.